Ever wish you had like an AI assistant that could not only think super deeply, but also use tools like a Python interpreter to solve really complex problems?
Oh, yeah.
Well, get this. Researchers have developed a model called START that does just that.
Really?
It's a huge leap forward in AI, and today we're going to break it all down for you based on the research paper, Self-Taught Reasoner with Tools.
It's definitely exciting stuff. This paper details how START combines long chain of thought reasoning, basically how AI models can simulate human-like thinking with the ability to utilize external tools.
So instead of just thinking in a vacuum, this AI can actually reach out and grab a calculator, so to speak.
Precisely. Traditional AI models using chain of thought reasoning can be impressive.
Yeah.
They also have limitations.
Yeah.
They can sometimes hallucinate facts or struggle with complex calculations. Imagine a brilliant detective that occasionally forgets basic arithmetic.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So how does START address these limitations?
START integrates external tools like a Python interpreter directly into its thinking process. This allows it to tackle more complex problems and avoid some of the pitfalls of traditional models.
So it's like giving that detective a calculator, a coding library, and maybe even a whole internet search engine to work with.
That's a great analogy. But here's the real kicker. START isn't just using tools, it's actually teaching itself how to use them effectively.
Wait, hold on. The AI is teaching itself. That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It really is remarkable. The researchers achieved this through two innovative techniques they call Hint-infer and Hint-RFT. With Hint-infer, they strategically insert hints during the AI's thinking process, like maybe using Python here would be helpful.
So they're basically nudging the AI in the right direction.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that the AI can actually understand and follow these hints. It's like it's having a mini aha moment and realizing, oh yeah, Python would be perfect for this.
That's incredible. And what about this Hint-RFT technique?
Hint-RFT takes it a step further by refining the AI's tool-using abilities. Think of it as a coach helping the AI become more strategic in its use of tool scoring, filtering, and even modifying its thinking steps based on the hints.
So it's not just about using tools, it's about using them intelligently and strategically. Now, you mentioned that the researchers put START through its paces with some pretty challenging tasks. What were some of the highlights?
They tested it on a variety of tasks, including PhD-level science questions, high school and competition-level math problems, and even a coding benchmark called Live Code Bench.
Yeah.
And the results were impressive.
Can you give us an example of how START actually tackles a problem?
Sure. In the research paper, there's a great example of a coin problem from the AMC 23 math competition. The problem asks you to find the largest amount of money you can't make using coins of 6, 10, and 15 cents.
Okay.
It's a tricky problem that involves number theory and logic.
So how did START approach it?
It started by reasoning through different approaches, and then realized that using Python code to test different combinations would be more efficient. So get this. It actually generated Python code to iterate through all the possible sums.
Oh, wow.
It found the largest value that couldn't be made and even double-checked its answer.
Wow. It's like it realized that brute forcing it with code was the quickest way to find the answer.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of START. It's not just thinking, it's acting. It's using tools in a very practical and efficient way.
Okay, so we've seen how START can crack a tough math problem. Did the researchers throw any other curveballs at it?
They did. They also tested START with a geometry problem from the AIM 25, a high school math competition known for its difficulty. This problem involved finding the area of a specific region formed by intersecting lines and planes in 3D space.
That sounds like a nightmare even for someone who's good at math.
It definitely is. But START handled it like a champ. It set up the equations, reasoned through the geometry, and then realizing the complexity of the calculations, seamlessly transitioned to using Python code again. It defined vectors, computed cross products, calculated the area, all within its reasoning process.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal. It's not just about AI thinking, it's about AI knowing when and how to use tools to solve problems efficiently. But how did the researchers know that START's success wasn't just because of a larger model size or more data?
That's a great question. They actually compared long chain of thought reasoning with and without tool integration and found that tool integration made a significant difference. It's the combination of deep thinking and practical tool use that makes START so powerful.
That's really convincing. But before we get too carried away, I'm curious, did the researchers stumble across any unexpected discoveries during their work with START?
As a matter of fact, they did. Remember the Hint-infer technique?
The one where they give the AI hints?
Right. They found that by giving QWQ, the base model for START, more thinking time, and more hints, it could actually solve problems even more accurately. It's like giving a student more time to think on a test. Sometimes that extra time makes all the difference.
Fascinating. So it's not just about processing speed, but also about having the space and the tools to think strategically.
Precisely. Now, with all this talk about START's capabilities, I'm sure you're wondering, what are the limitations?
Well, it can't be perfect, right? What are some of the areas where START could be improved or expanded upon?
You're right, it's still early days. For one thing, START currently only uses a Python interpreter. Imagine the possibilities if it could leverage other tools like search engines, specialized libraries, or even physical robots.
Whoa, that's mind-blowing. We could have AI that can not only think and code, but also interact with the physical world. What else?
Another limitation is that the hints are currently manually designed by the researchers. What if the AI could learn to generate its own hints, adapting to different types of problems and learning from its successes and failures?
That would take self-learning to a whole new level. It's almost like the AI would be developing its own metacognitive strategies for problem solving. This is all incredibly exciting. We've covered a lot of ground, but let's take a moment to recap why this is such a big deal. What does START really mean for the future of AI?
START represents a paradigm shift in AI, moving from purely internal reasoning to a more human-like approach that involves utilizing external tools. It's a step towards AI that can not only think deeply, but also act effectively in the world, much like we do.
It's like we're witnessing the birth of a new kind of intelligence, one that can reason, learn, and adapt in ways we never thought possible before. And that brings us to the big question. What does this all mean for us?
That's what we'll explore in part 2 of our deep dive into START. We'll examine the potential impact of this technology on your life and the world around you.
All right, so we've established that START is like a total game changer in the world of AI, but let's kind of shift gears for a sec and talk about what this actually means for us, for everyday people.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And to be honest, we're just beginning to scratch the surface of what's possible.
Yeah. I know you're the expert here, but even I can see the potential is huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where AI, like START, is readily available. Think about the impact on scientific research. We could have AI analyzing massive data sets, identifying patterns we might miss, and even generating hypotheses that could lead to breakthroughs.
So it's like having a research assistant that never sleeps, never gets tired, and can process information at lightning speed.
Exactly. And it's not just about speed. It's about the ability to see connections and patterns that humans might overlook. It's like having a fresh set of eyes, or maybe even 1,000 sets of eyes on a problem.
Okay, so big implications for science. What about other fields? Could START be applied in engineering, for example?
Absolutely. Imagine using START to design more efficient structures, optimize complex systems, or even help us build robots that can learn and adapt to their environments.
So we could have AI helping us design everything from bridges to spacecraft to, self-driving cars that can actually think for themselves.
You're catching on quickly. And let's not forget medicine. This is an area where AI, like START, could truly revolutionize things. We could use it to personalize treatments, analyze medical images with incredible accuracy, and even help us develop new drugs and therapies.
So instead of the one-size-fits-all approach to medicine we often have, now we could have treatments tailored to each individual patient's needs and genetic makeup.
Precisely. It's about moving towards a more personalized and effective approach to healthcare, which is something we all benefit from.
This is all incredibly exciting, but it's also a bit overwhelming. We're talking about AI that can essentially think, learn, and even solve problems better than humans in some cases.
I understand where you're coming from. And it's important to remember that while START is a remarkable achievement, it's just one step on a very long journey. We're still in the early stages of developing truly intelligent AI.
So what can we do to prepare for this future where AI is increasingly integrated into our lives?
I think one of the most important things is to stay informed. We need to understand how AI works, its potential benefits, and its limitations. We also need to think critically about the ethical implications of these technologies and ensure they're used responsibly.
That makes sense. Knowledge is power, as they say.
Exactly. And it's not just about technical knowledge. It's about fostering a sense of curiosity and a willingness to adapt.
So we need to be flexible and open to new ways of doing things, even if those ways involve working alongside AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that might involve learning new skills, embracing lifelong learning, and being willing to step outside of our comfort zones.
Oh, okay. That's a lot to digest. But before I move on, I'm curious, what do you personally find most fascinating about START? What gets you excited about the possibilities?
That's a great question. I think what really fascinates me is how START blurs the lines between thinking and doing. It's not just about processing information. It's about using that information to take action in the real world.
So it's like START is bridging the gap between the abstract world of thought and the concrete world of action.
That's a great way to put it. And that's what makes me optimistic about the future of AI. I think we're on the cusp of developing AI that can help us solve some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity, whether it's climate change, disease, or even just making our everyday lives a little bit easier.
Wow, that's a pretty inspiring vision of the future.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a second. There are probably some people out there who are listening to this and thinking, this is all well and good, but how does this actually affect me?
That's a fair point. And the truth is, we don't have all the answers yet.
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say that AI, like START, will have a profound impact on all of our lives in the coming years.
So how can we as individuals prepare for these changes? What can we do to make sure we're not left behind?
Great question. And that's exactly what we're going to delve into in part 3 of our deep dive into START.
Okay, so we've talked about all the amazing things START can do and even touched on its potential impact on society as a whole. But now let's bring it back down to earth. How does all of this actually affect you, the listener, like on a personal level?
That's the key question, isn't it? Because even the most groundbreaking technology is meaningless unless it translates into like tangible benefits for individuals.
Exactly. So let's say you're not a scientist, engineer, or doctor. How might AI like START still like touch your life?
Well, think about how much of our lives already revolve around technology. We use smartphones, computers, and the internet for like everything from communication to entertainment to managing our finances.
True. It's hard to imagine life without these tools now.
Exactly. Now imagine those tools becoming even more intelligent and capable thanks to AI, like START. Your smartphone could become a truly personalized assistant, like anticipating your needs, helping you make decisions, and even automating tasks you find tedious.
So instead of just reminding me about appointments, my phone could actually help me like plan my daybook travel or even figure out what to make for dinner based on what's in my fridge.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Think about education. AI could personalize learning experiences adapting to your individual pace and style. Imagine having a tutor that's available 24/7 and can explain complex concepts in a way that makes sense to you.
That would be a game changer for students of all ages. No more struggling with confusing textbooks or feeling lost in a crowded classroom.
Exactly. And it's not just about formal education. AI could also facilitate lifelong learning, helping you acquire new skills, explore new interests, and stay relevant in a rapidly evolving job market.
So whether you want to learn a new language, pick up a musical instrument, or even just stay up to date on the latest trends in your field, AI could be there to guide and support you.
Absolutely. But let's go even deeper. Think about how AI could empower you creatively. Imagine having access to tools that can help you write stories, compose music, or even design stunning visual art.
Wait, so you're telling me that even if I have no artistic talent whatsoever, AI could help me like unleash my inner creative genius?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But AI can definitely augment our creative abilities, helping us overcome limitations and explore new artistic avenues.
Okay, I have to admit that's pretty cool, but I think there's still this like underlying fear that AI will eventually replace human jobs altogether. What do you say to those who are worried about that?
It's a valid concern, and it's one we need to address thoughtfully. While it's true that AI will automate certain tasks, it's also likely to create new opportunities in industries we can't even imagine yet.
So it's not necessarily about AI like taking over, but rather about humans and AI working together in new and innovative ways.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to embrace lifelong learning and adaptability. The more we understand about AI and the more we invest in developing our own skills, the better equipped we'll be to thrive in a future where humans and AI collaborate.
Okay, that's reassuring. But let's not sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
There are definitely challenges and potential downsides to consider when it comes to AI. What are some of the things we need to be wary of as this technology continues to evolve?
One crucial aspect is ensuring that AI is developed and used responsibly and ethically. We need to be mindful of potential biases in algorithms, protect data privacy, and ensure that AI benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the values and principles that guide its development and deployment.
Precisely. And that's where you, the listener, come in. As citizens, consumers, and members of society, we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
So what can we do? How can we make sure AI is used for good?
Stay informed, engage in conversations about AI ethics, support organizations working to promote responsible AI development, and demand transparency and accountability from those developing and deploying these technologies.
So it's about being proactive and using our voices to ensure AI is used in a way that aligns with our values.
Exactly. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're all actively shaping through our choices, actions, and the conversations we have.
That's actually quite empowering. So as we wrap up our deep dive into START, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is no longer a distant concept confined to science fiction. It's here, it's evolving rapidly, and it's going to have a profound impact on all of our lives.
And it's up to us to embrace the possibilities while also being mindful of the challenges.
Exactly. And that brings us back to START. While it's a remarkable achievement in its own right, it also serves as a powerful reminder of the incredible potential of human ingenuity and the importance of pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
So the next time you encounter a complex problem or feel overwhelmed by the pace of technological change, remember, START. Let it inspire you to think bigger, to embrace lifelong learning, and to believe in the power of human and artificial intelligence working together to create a better future.
This is the Deep Dive signing off.